It is time for the one and only Ash to edit my crappy videos. Let's do this. So the real estate market, it's actually trending very nicely. In some pockets, it's going amazing. In other pockets, I can't even explain what's going on because there's good homes at good prices that are just sitting. It is very interesting out there. So we're going to get into it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Rene, and I run a real estate team in the Oakville and Burlington region. Before we get into all the amazing real estate information, don't forget to click like if you do like our video. If you want to see more of this content, definitely subscribe to our channel. And if there's something that I missed, or maybe you want to challenge me or it doesn't make sense, click the link in the description, and I'd love to talk about anything real estate. So what's cracking in this market? It is a very interesting time. The numbers are really good, and I'll go over that. There's still a lot of crazy stuff happening out there. I mean, we put these videos out to show you what is going on at ground level. We don't like to fluff around, and we just like to help clients get into homes and purchase them at fair prices and also sell at good prices. So it's what we do. Like, real estate shouldn't be a crazy, stressful, competitive thing, but it is in some cases. But yeah, let's talk numbers. So every month, obviously, I'm here educating you, the agent, or the seller, or the buyer, or the tenant, or the landlord on what's going on in Oakville and Burlington. So we're going to talk about Oakville right now. Oakville has been historically incredibly just amazing price-wise, and like it rebounds really quickly. So things are going really good right now. When I compare the numbers versus 2023, the detached market's just over 1.9 million, which is actually just down 1% versus last year around this time, which is pretty good. The townhouse market, it's actually pretty good too. It's around 1,054,000, which means that it's only down about 1% versus last year. And if we look at the condo market, it's around 655,000. It's the one market that took a big hit versus last year. It's down 9%. And I do think a lot of the reason for this is that there's so much condos that have been put up in Oakville. So that's definitely an issue. If we look at Burlington, got to be happy here because the average price right now is almost 1.5. It's actually up 4% versus last year around this time, which is huge. The townhouse market is rebounding, so it's around 909,000 and it's up 2%, which is great. And condo market's actually up around 2% too, which is great. It's around 644,000. And Oakville and Burlington, normally there was always a gap between these two. Burlington is creeping up nicely in terms of average price when we're looking at the condo market. So the market is headed in the right direction when we're focused on year over year. And like, I'm looking at this on a month-to-month basis as well, and the numbers are positive. It's crazy to think that given the interest rates and where we're at with that and the amount of inventory that's on the market, which I'll talk about in a sec, it's crazy to think that these numbers are just continuing to grow, and especially versus last year. So I'm kind of concerned what's going to happen when the rates go down. But it's times like this that you need to talk to professionals, people who are planning for those months that are ahead of us. So now if we look at the past 12 months, I just mentioned year over year, but if we look at the last 12 months, the rolling average, Oakville's still around that 1.9 million range, and Oakville's actually up 5% over the last year, which is great for Oakville. Townhouses are up 3%, which is around 1,043,000. Condo market, again, though, has taken a hit. Still, it's around 663 if we're looking at it over the course of 12 months. Burlington, green all around, which is awesome. If we look at the detached market, it's actually up 1% over the last 12 months. If we look at the townhouse market, it's up 3%, which is around 863,000. And if we look at the condo market, it's 628,000, which is up about 2%. It's great to see that when you average out the last 12 months, and both of these markets are actually trending in a very nice direction. And it's something I predicted in my video last year at the end of December. I said that by the end of this year, we will be talking about a 4 to 5% increase in gains, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I'll explain why it is in a minute. Here's something in terms of the amount of inventory and listings that we've seen. This is nuts. Like, if we look at new listings versus last year, we're up in Oakville 43% new listings this time of the year versus last. In Burlington, we're up 36% for new listings. And it goes hand in hand with inventory, because if we look at the inventory in Oakville, it's up 63%, which is huge, and 54% in Burlington. This is absolutely lucrative. Like, it's great. And I think this is one of the reasons that it's just helping buyers get out there. Lots of options. If there was less inventory, we would be in a very, very scary time because of how resilient the market is. But yeah, being up 36 to 63% is just nuts. I feel bad for some sellers because some homes are taking a lot longer to sell, but for buyers, this is good options. If we look at sales compared to last year, this time of the year, we're actually down, which is kind of interesting. In Oakville, we're down 12%, and in Burlington, we're down 5% if we're looking at this period versus last period. However, if I look at the previous month for both cities, we were actually up 15% in Oakville, and we were up 18% in Burlington. So if that keeps trending up, that's amazing. Like, it's nice to see that sales are picking up, even though we're getting a lot of inventory at the moment. Days on market is pretty similar. It's around 3 weeks, give or take. Some homes are selling in bidding wars that we've been hearing about when they're priced so low and they're sold in a day or 2 or 3. But I'd say most clients, they should have an expectation of their home selling in about 3 to 4 weeks in this kind of a market with this kind of inventory, and as long as it's priced fair. If you're educating clients out there, don't tell them it's selling in a day or 2, because that's just false. Months of inventory, I always say that having about 2 to 3 months is a fair amount of months of inventory. We're actually up quite a bit versus last year. In Oakville, we're at 3.2, which is 60% higher than the previous year. In Burlington, we're at 2.6, which is 53% higher than last year. So inventory is really good right now. That's a big thing, and I'm sure it's going to go down as the interest rates go down, but for now, that's healthy. Now, this part of the video, I always love to track the last 3 years if you've lived in your home. This is kind of interesting, and I'll spend some time on talking about this because historically, we've been around 5 to 7%. That's been a great number for a good 20, 30 years outside of those crazy markets. But in Oakville, if you own a detached and you've lived there for 3 years, on average, it's up about 5% per year. A townhouse is up about 6% per year. In the condo market, for the first time in a few years, I haven't seen appreciation this low, but it's at 4%. Now, don't go offloading your property just yet. Even at 4% per year, I'll give you an example. Like, let's say you have a property at $650,000 and you multiply it by 4%. There's about $26,000 in appreciation. If you hold on to that for even 5 years or think of selling it in 5, it's $130,000 in appreciation. Now, if that's an investment property and you're going to get hit with capital gains, that's another story for another time, which is not cool. But if it was your primary property, then, I mean, that's pretty good gains, even at 4%. So this is why I tell clients and anybody who's thinking of working with our team, I say, if your home is appreciating about 5 to 7% per year, especially if it's your personal property, that is incredible. The numbers are healthy. As long as we are seeing anything over 2, 3, 4%, I mean, that's all good. In terms of my final thoughts, I always like to end these videos with some positive words or some honest advice. The market right now, I'd have to say it's safe. There are some homes that are selling a little quicker than others. It can be a bit stressful, especially when you price it fair. But what we're trying to really educate sellers is don't pay attention to all these games and silly tactics that some agents are proposing. Don't jump to that agent because they're promising you a ridiculous price for your home. There's a lot of agents, especially big name agents out there, that are doing this tactic just to get your listing. My challenge to those agents is show your marketing analysis, show some proof, show some data. What's your contingency plan? Like, you can't just go out there and just try to get business by over promising and under delivering. We're seeing this a lot. It's nuts. So it's got to go. And same with the price extremely low and let's just see where we go. Like, it's a lazy strategy. I mean, we like to do things a little differently. The traditional way is you price it where the market bears, and then from there, there's negotiations. And yeah, like we're trying to get the sellers the most money, absolutely, but we're trying to do it in a very fair and honest way. So I just think you need to do some research on those agents that you're thinking of using. If you are an agent and you're struggling with strategies and marketing ideas, I mean, talk to your peers too, because that's the one thing this industry needs more is collaboration. And I'm always willing to help anybody who's just looking for that extra hand. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. If you did like it, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. And as always, if there's something in there that maybe you want to challenge me on or it didn't make sense, I mean, I'd love to talk about anything and everything real estate. Thank you for watching. We live here, and so should you.